A tadpole is the larval stage in the life cycle of an amphibian, particularly that of a frog or toad. They are usually wholly aquatic, though some species have tadpoles that are terrestrial. When first hatched from the egg, they have a more or less globular body, a laterally compressed tail and internal or external gills. As they grow, they undergo metamorphosis, during which process they grow limbs, develop lungs and reabsorb the tail. Most tadpoles are herbivorous, and during metamorphosis the mouth and internal organs are rearranged to prepare for an adult carnivorous lifestyle. Having no hard parts, it might be expected that fossil tadpoles would not exist. However, traces of biofilms have been preserved and fossil tadpoles have been found dating back to the Miocene. Tadpoles are eaten in some parts of the world and are mentioned in folk tales and used as a symbol in ancient Egyptian numerals. Etymology: the name tadpole is from Middle English tadpole, made up of the elements tad, toad, and pole, head. Similarly, pollywog is from Middle English polewiggle, made up of the same pole, head, and wigglen, to wiggle. General description: tadpoles are young amphibians that usually live in the water, though a few tadpoles are semi-terrestrial and terrestrial. During the tadpole stage of the amphibian life cycle, most respire by means of autonomous external or internal gills. They do not usually have arms or legs until the transition to adulthood, and typically have a large, flattened tail with which they swim by lateral undulation, similar to most fish. As a tadpole matures, it most commonly metamorphoses by gradually growing limbs and then outwardly absorbing its tail by apoptosis. Lungs develop around the time of leg development, and tadpoles late in development will often be found near the surface of the water, where they breathe air. During the final stages of external metamorphosis, the tadpole's mouth changes from a small, enclosed mouth at the front of the head to a large mouth the same width as the head. The intestines shorten to accommodate the new diet. Most tadpoles are herbivorous, subsisting on algae and plants. Some species are omnivorous, eating detritus and, when available, smaller tadpoles. Tadpoles vary greatly in size both during the development and between species. For example, in a single family, Megophryidae, length of late-stage tadpoles varies between 33 mm and 106 mm. The tadpoles of Pseudes paradoxa grow to 25 cm, the largest of any frog. Fossil record: despite the soft-bodied nature and lack of mineralized hard parts, fossil tadpoles have been recovered from upper Miocene strata. They are preserved by virtue of biofilms, with more robust structures preserved as a carbon film. In Miocene fossils from Libros, Spain, the brain case is preserved in calcium carbonate, and the nerve cord in calcium phosphate. Other parts of the tadpole's bodies exist as organic remains and bacterial biofilms, with sedimentary detritus present in the gut. Tadpole remains with telltale external gills are also known from several of the labyrinthodont groups. Human use: some tadpoles are used as food. Tadpoles of Megophryidae frog Oriolalax rhodor stigmatus are particularly large, more than 10 cm in length, and are collected for human consumption in China. In India, Clinotarsus scirtipes are collected for food, and in Peru at least Telmatobius malloy tadpoles are collected for food and medicine. Despite the name Olcharangi-guksu, Korean tadpole noodles refers to a type of noodle made from pureed corn. Mythology and history: according to Sir George Scott, in The Origin Myths of the Wa People in China and Myanmar, the first Wa originated from two female ancestors, Yarhtawm and Yarhtai, who spent their early phase as tadpoles in a lake known as Normhkao. In the ancient Egyptian numerals, a hieroglyphic representing a tadpole was used to denote the value of 100,000.